Welcome back, blade fans. This old sword is back with you once again, and I have a very special knife to review today. This was one of 3 knives on loan from Bob Demarco, TheKnifeJunkie. You may know of his channel and all of his offerings on reviews of custom makers and just about everybody in the knife biz. He's very prolific lately in what he's putting out there to the knife community. Great background, great knowledge, and diversity. So, and don't forget to catch his Thursday Night Knives, which is a live show at 10 o'clock Eastern Time. So there's my plug for Bob. This was a very special knife he picked up at the Blade Show, I believe in Atlanta, in 2021. And it is a custom knife by Dirk Pinkerton. It is a knife based upon the Pikal or Pikal method of knife use. You can see it's sharpened on both edges. It is made from Nitro-V, and let's talk about Nitro-V for just a second before you either praise it or poo-hoo it. Poo-hoo it, boy, who uses that anymore, right? Okay, so according to Knife Steel Composition and Reference Data, an app that I use, Nitro-V is from the company, the U.S. company, New Jersey Steel Baron. It is essentially a modification of a well-known and very good AEB-L knife steel with small amounts of vanadium and nitrogen added to it. Both elements have very positive alloying effects on the steel. Alternatively, you could say that Nitro-V is 14C28N steel with added vanadium. You can decide for yourself which one is closer. In the end, according to reports, we have seen very decent knife steel. Edge stability is very similar to AISI 52100 steel, which does count as an achievement, since that steel is known for its fine edge and stability. But in addition, you have really stain-resistant steel. Okay, don't want to go on too long about that, but that's a little background on Nitro-V steel. So what we should have is good edge holding, and the way Dirk grinds these edges, they are, yeah, I mean, I don't do sharpening tests or I don't do sharp tests, cutting tests with other people's knives, but my finger tells me that that is very fine and very bitey, and you have a very fine point. The grinds, as Bob has said in his review of this knife, are just perfect. Hand ground by Dirk Pinkerton. There is Dirk's mark. And there is the steel. Now it's interesting because not all custom makers will stamp the name of the steel on the blade. I like having the name of the steel on the blade because if I lose any packaging or anything else, you know, you end up having the knife and knowing what it's made from. So, and also Bob had pointed out in his review that right next to Dirk's mark is a Rockwell hardness test. Now, I don't know the Rockwell on this particular knife, but it's interesting that he does hardness test them after they've been heat treated. Here's some nice jimping. And the knife is meant to be used in, have to back out a little bit. Come on. Okay. The knife is meant to be used in this position with the thumb capped over the top. And it is a thrusting, jabbing, ripping style of knife. And very often these knives you will only see with that inner edge sharpened. However, Because we've got the jimping on the top, this can be used with the other edge as well, and you've got a pretty good belly on there. So you've got a convex, or rather concave edge here and a convex edge there. Kind of the best of both worlds. You just have to remember, if you're the type of guy that likes to put his thumb on the back of the blade, don't with this one. Otherwise, interesting handle choice here. It is what appears to be a canvas micarta in 2 layers, maybe even 3, because we got a little line going through the, it's kind of a salmon colored red with a yellow layer in there. Very interesting choice for a tactical type knife, but you know, since this goes in its really nice Kydex sheath, and Bob had added the ulti-clip, so he says it came without any sort of mounting hardware, but you can see you've got plenty of holes there to do pretty much anything you want, even neck carry it, but it's a little on the heavier side. Speaking of that, let's do a few measurements. Since I just mentioned the weight, let's get the weight with the sheath, because that's how you're going to be carrying it. So with the sheath, we got 7.84. We're going to call it 7.85 ounces. And since it's in the sheath and I don't want to cut myself, let's grab the handle thickness right about there, and it's 0.61. Try it again. 0.62 we'll call it. For a fixed blade, certainly not bad. Now let's see what we got for blade stock. And we're going to go to millimeters. And I'm going to grab it in a good spot right at the heel. So 5mm blade stock. Nice and thick, whether in a folder or a fixed blade, but just about great for a fixed blade that's going to have to hold up to some serious use. And this is nicely done Kydex sheath. It's Kydex, it's not molded, and I would assume that's handmade also by Dirk Pinkerton. But it's nice because you can get your whole hand on it, and yet these 2 tabs, if you want to call them, that run up along the sides don't get in your way. So the knife, other than being a Pikal knife, has no name as far as I know, because it's one of a kind. He may, I'm sure, make more of these, and you would have to contact Dirk directly. I'll see if I can put a link to his website in the description. What else do we need to measure? Oh, how about overall length? And then we're going to do a compare with some other blades. So overall length we have is exactly 8 inches. And we've got a blade of slightly under 4 inches with a cutting edge of 3 3/4 inches on the outer edge. No need to measure the inner edge. It should be about the same. You've got a curve here, you've got a curve there, so as you measure along a curve, if you want to do that, that's going to give you a slightly different measurement than a straight line, obviously. And probably not going to be legal in a few areas because it is double-edged. As soon as you get 2 edges on there, you get into a whole different category of blade and legality. But that aside, you can certainly collect it. For comparison, here is a well-known fixed blade and highly regarded by many. This is the Street Beat by Spyderco. And it is a shorter knife by about 1 inch overall. And if we go to the blade, it's still shorter by about 1/2 inch in the blade. It's a really comfortable, useful fixed blade in its own right. And it will also function in Pikal or Pikal style very easily. However, you have no edge on the inside. Likes to slide around, so let's put it over there. And another knife that's specifically designed for Pikal use is the Anomaly by Bastinelli Knives. And this is a collaboration between Doug Marcaida and Bastian Cove of Bastinelli Knives. And you can see has the same intent, except we've got only one edge here, and we have a very minimalist knife with only the steel, no handle material, but it's meant to carry very light, very slim, and there you have, whether you've got your finger in the ring or not, you have the same concept of a ripping style blade. And finally, from Spyderco, we have the Pikal knife, and its name is the Pikal knife, Pikal. And this was designed by a gentleman called Southnark, and yes, his name is now known, and forgive me, I don't recall his name, but he is teaching a style of fighting with something he calls the clinch pick, which they use this way, so this knife can be used either cutting upward or across, as well as point down, edge in. You notice the curve is not as extreme, it's very, very mild. And it does have that rod sticking out, which I understand can be screwed out, that is used as a wave style, pocket style opener. And that's a Spyderco folding offering. One last look here. We've got a beautiful knife. It is a custom knife. I had loaned out to Bob my BlackRock Virus Pikal knife, and I hope he's having fun looking at that, and hopefully we'll see a vid on that as well and have his take on that one. But Dirk Pinkerton, fantastic work, great custom knife maker and designer. You'll see his designs with concept and I think not we, but maybe Civivi, definitely concept, and a bunch of other can't think at the moment who he's designed for, but you will see his designs out there in with a number of manufacturers. Okay, so there you have it. Custom knife by Dirk Pinkerton, loaned to me by Bob, the Knife Junkie Demarco. Thank you very much again, Bob, and don't forget to like this video and subscribe. We'll be back with you soon.